advice to Eric Bieniemy would be to do something along the same lines of Matt LaFleur, to do something along the same lines as Shane Waldron. I would say to Eric Bieniemy, leave Kansas City. Now, Kansas City fans don't want to hear that. Kansas City players might not even want to hear that. But they're already saying, leave Kansas City, go get a head coaching job. Well, my advice for Eric Bieniemy would pull a Shane Waldron, would pull a Matt LaFleur, would pull a Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis did the same thing. Marvin Lewis was a defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. He was looking to get a head coaching job. He couldn't, and then he became defensive coordinator for 1 year with the Washington football team before he got the Cincinnati job. Eric Bieniemy might have to do something like that. Matt LaFleur had to do it for 1 year. Shane Waldron is looking to do that. Zach Taylor, don't know how, don't know why. He skipped some steps. He's not the only person who skipped those steps, but some people skip those steps, some people do not. Matt LaFleur, he had to take that step. So Eric Bieniemy, you don't feel like you should have to do that. I get that. I understand that. You look around, you see somebody like Zach Taylor, and you say, that dude wasn't even an offensive coordinator. Ever. And now he's an offensive genius, and he's a head coach. I would say, Mr. Bieniemy, please, go get an offensive coordinator job for a defensive-minded head coach for 1 year. 1 year. You don't even have to be a good offensive coordinator, because look at Matt LaFleur. In his one season with the Tennessee Titans, they went 9-7. They missed the playoffs, and the Tennessee Titans were near the bottom of offensive output. Now, Matt LaFleur is a good head coach because they've gone 13-3 the past 2 seasons that he's been in Green Bay. So I don't want to attack Matt LaFleur, but in that one season as offensive coordinator with the Tennessee Titans, they ranked 27th. I'm going to read this because I had to write it down. They ranked 27th in points scored. 27th. They ranked 25th in yards gained, total yards gained, 25th in the NFL. They ranked 29th in passing yards, 29th. Overall offense, I think they ranked 26th in the NFL. I could be wrong about that number, but I think they ranked 26th in the NFL overall in this 1 year. However, they ranked 6th in rushing yards. 6th. It's a passing league. Those are not very good passing numbers, but he ranked 6th in rushing. He translated that into the head coaching job for the Green Bay Packers. So my advice to Eric Bieniemy would be, without talking about black, white, my advice to Eric Bieniemy would be, do that. Take that route. Find you a defensive-minded head coach who was looking for an offensive coordinator, and try and throw your name into that hat. I know you're trying to throw your name into the head coaching hats, but try to find a defensive-minded head coach and become that head coach's offensive coordinator. Or maybe you could just get a head coaching job next year, and we won't have to talk about this anymore. Unless, could you imagine, coming back to Mike Kafka, could you imagine Eric Bieniemy getting a head coaching job, and in that same coaching cycle that Eric Bieniemy gets a head coaching job, Mike Kafka gets a head coaching job, or Mike Kafka starts getting talked about? Now then the conversations will start up again. Is it fair? No, but it's been done before. Marvin Lewis did it. Matt LaFleur did it. That would be my advice to Eric Bieniemy. He wanted my advice, but why would he want my advice? I'm not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and Cincinnati Bengals fans are the smartest fans out there. But we all know that because we all have subscriptions to PFF.